The Boeing 737 MAX was certified in March 2017 by the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration. A new automatic flight control feature. Investigations determined that Boeing and the FAA favored cost-saving solutions, but ultimately produced a flawed design. The FAA's Organization Designation Authorization Program, allowing manufacturers to act on its behalf, was also questioned for weakening its oversight of Boeing. Boeing wanted the FAA to certify the airplane as another version of the long-established 737. That would limit the need for additional training of pilots, a major cost saving for airline customers. During flight tests, however, Boeing discovered that the larger size and position of the engines tended to push up the airplane nose during certain maneuvers. To counter that tendency and ensure fleet commonality with the 737 family, Boeing added MCAS so the MAX would handle similar to earlier 737 versions. Boeing convinced the FAA that MCAS could not fail hazardously or catastrophically, and that existing procedures were effective in dealing with malfunctions. The MAX was exempted from certain newer safety requirements, saving Boeing billions of dollars in development costs. In February 2020, the DOJ investigated Boeing's hiding of information from the FAA, based on the content of internal emails. In January 2021, Boeing settled to pay over $2.5 billion after being charged with fraud. In June 2020, the U.S. Inspector General's report revealed that MCAS problems dated several years before the accidents. The FAA found several defects that Boeing deferred to fix, in violation of regulations. In September 2020, the House of Representatives concluded its investigation and cited numerous instances where Boeing dismissed employee concerns with MCAS, prioritized deadline and budget constraints over safety, and where it lacked transparency in disclosing essential information to the FAA. It further found that the assumption that simulator training would not be necessary had diminished safety, minimized the value of pilot training, and inhibited technical design improvements. In November 2020, the FAA announced that it had cleared the aircraft type to return to service. Various system, maintenance and training requirements are stipulated, as well as design changes that must be implemented on each aircraft before the FAA issues an airworthiness certificate. Without delegation to Boeing, other major regulators worldwide are gradually following suit. Transport Canada and EASA both cleared the MAX in late January 2021. Subject to additional requirements, the first flight took place on January 29, 2016, at Renton Municipal Airport, nearly 49 years after the maiden flight of the original 737-100. On April 9, 1967, the first MAX 8-1A001 was used for aerodynamic trials, flutter testing, stability and control, and takeoff performance data verification, before it was modified for an operator and delivered. 1A002 was used for performance and engine testing, climb and landing performance, crosswind, noise, cold weather, high altitude, fuel burn and water ingestion. Aircraft systems including Autoland were tested with 1A003. 1A004, with an airliner layout, flew function and reliability certification for 300H with a light flight test instrumentation. The 737 MAX gained Federal Aviation Administration certification on March 8, 2017. It was approved by EASA on March 27, 2017. After completing 2,000 test flight hours and 180-minute ETOPS testing requiring 3,000 simulated flight cycles in April 2017, CFM International notified Boeing of a possible manufacturing quality issue with low-pressure turbine discs in LEAP-1B engines. Boeing suspended 737 MAX flights on May 4 and resumed flights on May 12. During the certification process, the FAA delegated many evaluations to Boeing, allowing the manufacturer to review their own product. It was widely reported that Boeing pushed to expedite approval of the 737 MAX to compete with the Airbus A320neo, which hit the market 9 months ahead of Boeing's model. In the US, the MAX shares a compatible type rating throughout the Boeing 737 series. The impetus for Boeing to build the 737 MAX was serious competition from the Airbus A320neo, which was a threat to win a major order for aircraft from American Airlines, a traditional customer for Boeing airplanes. Boeing decided to update its 737, designed in the 1960s, rather than designing a clean sheet aircraft, which would have cost much more and taken years longer. Boeing's goal was to ensure the 737 MAX would not need a new type rating, which would require significant additional pilot training, adding unacceptably to the overall cost of the airplane for customers. The 737 was first certified by the FAA in 1967. Like every new 737 model since then, the MAX has been approved partially with the original requirements and partially with more current regulations, enabling certain rules and requirements to be grandfathered in. Chief Executive Di.